Are we alive?
We are live.
We're live! Yay!
Yay! So let me see this. Hi Alicia, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
We're here today with Alicia Joustra. Joustra.
Joustra.
Okay.
Got it right.
And we're going to talk about your experience in real estate and stuff like that. But to kind of kick things off, a couple quick questions. Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Kennewick Hills.
What's their mascot?
Knights.
The Knights.
Go
Black
Knights.
Knights.
The Knights.
Black and gold? Yep.
Black and gold.
Yep.
So Northwest girl.
Northwest?
Yeah.
Yep. Born and raised on the west side.
Are you still over there? Or where do you live? What part of town are you in now?
I live by the John Ball Zoo.
Okay.
So,
All right.
super easy.
Not too far.
Yeah, not far.
That's
Nice.
great.
Love the location.
So rank these foods: Chinese food, Italian food, Mexican food.
Mexican, Chinese, Italian.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Love
And
me a
then-
good taco.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
What do you drink?
Well, I love a good soy latte,
Okay.
but I
Oh.
usually start with tea. So,
What kind of tea? What's your tea game like?
yes, I actually discovered what's called high calf tea from the
Oh.
Republic of Tea. It has a lot of caffeine in it, so it's just black tea but super caffeinated. And super clean buzz. I think I'm actually a number 3, so I'm like, but it does what I need it to do, and I feel really like fresh and light with it. So yeah.
Versus coffee.
Versus coffee, yeah. When I would drink coffee a while ago, I would, doctor it up quite a bit, have a bunch of sugar and creamer.
Oh, okay,
and
okay.
I feel like I would obviously crash super hard and just feel super jittery. So eliminating that and just going for something a little bit more clean has been really,
Okay.
really nice. So smooth buzz.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we usually start with how we want to get into how you got into real estate, like your origin story. But I know
Yeah.
I was interested in this conversation because you are an agent that started on a team
Yes.
with Lori Zocco.
Yes.
We love Lori.
Love Lori.
And then you branched out on your own and made a transition from being a part of a team and all this stuff, and you've started creating your own business. That's a
Yes.
really... So take us from there. Tell us maybe like when you decided to go on your own, what was going through your head and
Yes. So it was wonderful on the team. I felt like, a small family, like everybody was super close and we had, so many great times. And stepping out independently, it was incredibly overwhelming, very intimidating. I felt super lost, super lonely. I still have, feelings and thoughts sometimes, super lonely, a little lost and whatnot. But just the transition has been a little overwhelming. But once you just start getting into the routine and start finding your way, it's been really great.
yeah.
How long has that been?
It's been about, since last May. So,
Year and a
almost
half.
a year and a half. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
How many?
Go ahead.
We're gonna say how many transactions
Yeah,
have you done?
that's where I was going.
How many
Yeah.
transactions have you done since May? Or since going solo? What's it look like?
Yeah.
I haven't done that, but maybe, I think it was 11 last year and then 13 this year.
All right.
So,
All right. Sweet.
Yeah.
So year to date, 13.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Year to date. Oh, just since January 13th.
Yeah, just curious.
Yeah, yep.
Since January.
Yeah.
Nice.
I
Okay.
know.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
So take us through what a little bit of your day looks like.
Okay.
I mean, you said you were lonely
Yeah.
and scared and not know what to do. And so how did you figure it out? Like
Yeah.
what does a day look like? Let me ask it this way.
Mhm.
What did a day look like then and what does it look like now?
Yeah.
Do you have rituals that you do?
Yeah, well, I have started to just find rituals and find what works best for me. And being so overwhelmed at first, I would just be super inside my head. And especially when I work from home too often, I get way too inside of my head. And that really kind of blocks my communication and blocks a couple of things. So I've started to do something I call the mind dump every morning.
Okay.
So it's been extremely beneficial. I noticed that I can, communicate a lot more clearly and I can
What's a
listen.
mind dump?
So basically just waking up every morning and just getting a piece of paper out, pretty much like a journal, and just every single thing inside of my head, thought, word, dream, anything, I just put it on paper.
Anything, not just business,
Like
or
free-
tasks.
Free flow.
I mean, there's some days where obviously if I had a really, big day ahead of me, that's when I'm super overwhelmed. I just get everything out on, from
nice.
pen to paper. And it just, for some reason, really works for me to, become a little bit more clear and to...
And you do that in the morning?
Yes.
And then what do you do with it?
And then I just leave it where I left it.
You allow it to get out?
Yes.
So you don't think, so you're not like maybe feeling anxiety throughout the day or stressed about what you have going on. You can see it all there.
Yes.
I like that.
So,
you do this every morning?
Yes. I have for, it's been months now. I think since the new year, I just started doing it every single morning. And I can notice when there are mornings when I don't have time to do it, or I just don't, in some mornings I can fill a whole page within minutes, and some other mornings it takes me like 10 minutes. And then if I don't have time to finish it, I do notice when I do have some stuff still left in my head just hanging around.
Did you learn this technique from someone or someplace?
Yeah, I think it was actually a podcast.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a couple great podcasts that I kind of, listen to and just learn about things and try to incorporate them. So,
do you remember the names?
It was either The Skinny Confidential
okay.
or Style Your Mind. Those are like my two go-to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Nice.
So, yeah.
That's
just
cool.
that, and then just...
So you wake up, you get ready, you start your day, you probably have some high caffeinated tea or coffee.
Always.
And you do the mind dump.
Yep.
And then what do you stay at home? Do you have an office at home? Or
I do, yep. I have an actual home office, which has been really helpful. For a while, for a couple of months, I didn't have an actual desk. So that was really, once I got that.
So you have a dedicated space.
Yes. Once I got that, I was like, wow, this is such a big game changer, just because I would sit down, I had all my files, I had everything I needed to work in a physical space. So that was really helpful to, get started with the day and get motivated. I just, every day is obviously different. So there's some mornings where I do work from home because I have early appointments and it just doesn't make sense to run out. And then there are, I try to hit the coffee shop maybe once, twice a week.
Okay.
So
just to change your environment?
Where's your hang? Where do you go?
Ferris Coffee, and then Rowers on Fulton, and the Squib is one of my favorites.
So Squib, right across the street.
Yep.
You go to the Ferris down by the YMCA downtown?
Yes, that's my favorite.
Nice. Yeah,
and then Rowers is awesome, but I'm starting to realize certain things about coffee house, the chairs, the height, the distance of the table, and I'm like, well, I don't get comfortable. I can't really,
I've thought that too, honestly, about Rowers Club.
Yes, and I've actually spoken to other individuals while I'm there, and they're like, we've seen you here, we've seen you there, and what's your favorite? And then we chat about each place, and it's kind of funny because we all notice different things about different coffee shops. And I'm like, okay, it's not just me being super picky and, dramatic. So, yeah.
I have two questions. Are you a person that writes goals for yourself, like daily goals, monthly, weekly goals, or does it work differently for you?
I try to do quarterly whenever I really think about it and sit down and reevaluate, but it's not something that I look at every day, even though I wish to make that part of my routine just because I know there's a lot of benefits that, can come about. So, yeah, usually just quarterly. I just sit down and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Where am I at? What do I want to do? What do I need to do? So, yeah.
Well, then my other question is, if you don't mind.
Number two.
Is that we've spoken several times, and you are, every time I speak to you, you are very positive, upbeat, high energy. This business can wear you down a little bit.
It can.
And so where do you get your mindset, or how do you reset? Do you wear down like a battery, or how are you so positive with a lot of stuff that goes on that can wear you down? Right.
That's a good question. I mean, some days are incredibly overwhelming and you just have to put that face on and just hi, how's it going? Just be bubbly, whatever. And I just try to take a day if I have nothing going on in the schedule, and I just realize that I have to take a moment and do something that fills me and recharges me and centers me and and I can get back to myself doing certain things. So when I do have a slow day, I used to be a little, I don't know, I just wouldn't be, I would be resistive to take a day off and to take a couple hours to myself. Okay. But I've learned that there's a lot of value in doing so, and things can wait, or you can take that time. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Good insight.
Yeah.
That is a good insight. And are you naturally a positive person?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Do you do the Enneagram?
No, I haven't done that yet.
Okay.
I've heard about it.
What personality tests have you taken? Do you know what kind of personality type you are?
The Briggs? Is that
Briggs.
one?
Is that like the ENFP kind of thing?
Yes. I think so, because I remember like activator and then...
Oh, StrengthsFinder.
StrengthsFinder, yes. I forget what I remember, like I can't really remember, but
Activator's
I know activator. If you named a couple of the other ones, I'd be able to tell you.
It'd be fun to see what you are on like the Enneagram, and then also what your top 5 or top 10 strengths would be on StrengthsFinder. Would be really interesting.
Yeah.
Would you share with us what a recent like aha moment was?
Yeah.
You started and from a team, and then when you went in at solo.
Yes.
Was there a recent thing where you just went clicked? Like an aha
moment? I think so.
Right.
So recently I was door knocking, which I don't do that often, but I sometimes enjoy it just because I get to be outside. So earlier this spring I was walking one of my favorite neighborhoods, and I just do it in terms of introducing myself. Like, you know, if they do think about real estate, hopefully they remember me. So I just walked up to this door, which I notice is it's interesting nowadays how unapproachable and how weird it is to walk up to somebody's front door. So anyway, I think I just caught this guy. He was super salty, like not really excited to see me standing at his door. And he was just saying, you know, we're not going to be selling for at least 10 years, blah, blah, blah. And I just kind of took it in, and then I just realized, like, well, that's okay. I'm not asking you to sell anytime soon, but if you are thinking about it, just keep me in mind, you know? So just having that moment where I'm like, wow, I will be around in 10, 15, 20 years whenever you do think about selling. So
that's cool.
Yeah, just a moment where I was like, this is what I'm doing, and I have no doubt about where I'll be, you know? So that was a really interesting moment to have and to kind of acknowledge.
That's a great perspective to have, though, that long game perspective.
Yes.
I think it is too.
Where has most of your business come from the past year?
Sphere. And then, of course, Facebook.
Okay.
And, I just connections around town, but just really
and talking loud at the coffee shop?
You
talk loud at the coffee shop?
Yeah, sometimes. I talk loud everywhere I go, intentionally. I'm like, this is Alicia Joustra with 5-star real estate, you know, like, in a soft way, like nothing crazy or pushy, but...
So I've seen you over the past year. You've done a ton of these, like, live things where you've gone live.
Wednesday.
Like, you do a lot of these live things. So what kind of live things do you do? What kind of live things do you do on a regular basis or just one-offs? What works, what doesn't work? What have you learned about doing this kind of a thing?
This kind of a thing, like my Wonder Wednesdays?
Yeah, like
just
on your page and jumping in with lenders and jumping in with other people. Like,
yes. So just, I started it over a year ago, which was so weird to think about, I think last August. And it was just an idea to do once a week for a minute-long video segment. And it was my way to get creative and itch that left part of my brain. And then also it gave me something to do and to research and a way to add value to my audience, my sphere, my family, my friends. So I usually just do stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what else I really do that's like...
Haven't you gone like live with other lenders and things like this too?
Yep.
What are those part of the Wonder Wednesdays?
Yeah, usually. Okay. There's other times where I just like post them on a Monday, or I just hop on quick live just to get something else out there. But
How have you gotten over, and maybe you still struggle with this, but do you feel the need when you go live to be perfect?
I used to, yes. And I was super hesitant to post the first couple of videos just because you want, you're getting out there and you're like people are going to see this. Yeah. So when I watched the first couple of videos I did that I thought in the moment were like really good, I'm like, oh wow, I was like screaming at the camera, like, so it's interesting to watch, and now it's become much more natural and easier. And I used to take like 30 takes of the first, and these are like minute-long videos. So like I would sit there for an hour and just try to get the verbiage out and get the wording right. And now it's just I hop on and I just kind of, do it within a take or two. And if it doesn't come out perfect, I think that is, beneficial as well. It shows that I'm not a perfect person and I don't ever wish to be. So it's getting way easier.
I feel like that's like a big hurdle for a lot of people is like but I don't want to look like an idiot. I don't know what
yeah,
I don't want to
there's
stumble.
a lot of
I don't
ego.
wanna-
Like
yeah.
I had to just, if I'm not looking right, I don't really, you got to set aside your ego and just
Yeah.
go
Just
for
go
it.
for it.
Yeah,
Get into
I
a
think-
habit of creating.
I think authenticity is becoming the currency
it
on
is.
social media. They want to see, the real you.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on.
Yeah.
You may have answered this question with that last story, but put aside humility and what do you think you're really good at in real estate? What are you really good at?
I think I'm really good at just, like with my clients, like
Yeah, anything,
education.
whatever it
Like
is.
I like to educate my clients and kind of explain things in common terms. My
Okay.
sphere, like the people that I've been helping, my clients are all, my age-ish. It's their first home that they're trying to buy. So I like to explain things that they can understand and it's easy for them to know what's going on.
Like approachability.
Yes.
You try to make it all approachable versus
Yes, it's
this
not
big
super overwhelming. Yeah, exactly.
You're trying to protect them from the overwhelming feeling.
Yes, exactly.
No, that's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a question and then my mind blanked. But I know what I was going to ask you. From your Facebook Live stuff, have you had any business directly from like saying, "Hey, I saw you live and I wanted to chat with you"?
Yes. I'm starting to hear more and more that when somebody thinks real estate, I'm the one that comes to mind. I'm the only realtor that they know. So that's another moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, what? It's kind of like a little aha where I'm like, oh wow, like there's how many of us now around Grand Rapids? And so I know there's a lot of benefits in being a little consistent with those videos just because when people think real estate, they think my name and
You're building a tribe, as we've heard this kind of over the years, this buzzword tribe, right?
Yeah.
But like what I find interesting is like if no one's leading them on social media, if no one's being their real estate leader, you're becoming their real estate leader over time because you're the one who's taking the moment to step out, to communicate with them, to share with them, to be real with them. And so I think that's fantastic. And I think that you're right. I think that if you keep doing this, it's going to be like a slam dunk.
Yeah.
Cool.
I've also like boosted some posts on Facebook, just like advertisements and like people tag people. And so I've gotten business that way as well, just like following up. And
What kind of post would you sponsor on a Facebook? What would you boost?
I just create my own content from like Canva and just boost it. Like like one time I posted something about West Side, and I just wrote something about buying or selling, and now's a great time to sell,
And
like
then
that kind
push
of
it
thing.
out.
And I just boost it. And
But it looks good.
yeah,
Canva's got a bunch of cool designs.
They
already.
do. Yeah, it's an awesome resource for us. Yeah,
Would you consider all of this how you would prospect, as we say?
I think so.
Like,
Yes.
do you do anything else, like anything traditional, or are you just trying to get in the flow with a tribe of people? and stuff
Yeah,
like
I think
that?
it's a little bit of both.
That's good.
Yeah, I do sometimes do calling, like for sale by owners.
You do?
I do. I'm not great
And
at
door
it.
knocking, you
And
mentioned
door
earlier.
knocking, yes. And then I have like little mailings that just to my sphere and to my family and friends, and then other people that I've met with or met through an open house. So those kind of things, and email like campaigns that I actually, it's not like a generated system. I just go in and email myself and like personally send a little message here and there to other people that I've met. So
We call those me-mails.
Me-mail,
they're
yeah,
really from me.
yes.
This is really from me.
exactly, direct.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's good.
What have you tried that's failed?
I still
Can you
struggle.
think of anything?
Well,
Yeah.
open houses,
Okay.
they're not my forte. Like
Okay.
I feel incredibly awkward standing there, sitting there waiting. And then, you can certainly tell when people are apprehensive to approach you, and I just feel like it's awkward, and I just feel like I never know what to say really to like make them not feel awkward, and not that I'm try to get through that whole salesman image that they see when they see a realtor at an open house. So I'm trying to be a little bit more consistent with scheduling open houses and hosting so that I can become better at them. But that's something I certainly struggle with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'm awful on the phone. So
Really?
usually when I call people for sale by owner, it's more
Oh, okay.
It's not me with the script. It's
So
me.
you're better in person.
Yes, I think
Okay.
so. I hope so.
Yeah.
With what I've experienced on the phone. But I just usually just call and I'm like, how are things going? I just come from a place of hopefully being a resource and hopefully being of value, not really like salesy, so to speak. Like,
Do you see for sale by owners and expires as part of your business?
no,
Okay. So you don't do a lot of that anyways.
not really.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you're door knocking, what are you doing? Why are you out door knocking?
I am just trying to introduce myself to the community.
So kind of a cold just introduction.
Yeah.
You're not even like advertising anything.
Yeah, no. Sometimes I just bring, a business card, and I try to make sure to look at like recently listed or just sold in the area, just so if they ask, what did that one sell for? I'm obviously like knowledgeable.
Yeah.
There's been times where I haven't done that before, and I'm like, that's a good question. I should know, like, as I'm walking this neighborhood. But yeah, usually just to introduce myself. And if you have any needs, I'm an active full-time realtor that services this community. And yeah, that's kind of what I run with.
So when it's a slow day, you'll go do something like that? You just want to get your energy out there?
Yes.
You got to do something.
Yes, exactly. It makes me feel like I'm doing something and I'm planting
And
seeds.
you can only spend so many hours at the coffee shop.
Exactly, yes.
Caitlin Grant says hi.
Hi.
Alyssa Hunter Zoko says, how do you stay so pretty?
Thanks, Dal, you're gorge.
Julie asked about the podcast.
Yeah,
but
what were those names again? Yeah.
Yeah, the Skinny Confidential.
Okay.
And then Style Your Mind.
Okay.
And then there's also one, I forget, is it Tim and Julie Ferris? It's
Tim
real
Ferris,
estate training or sales training.
Tim Ferris.
Tim Ferris.
Is he
with his wife?
Workday?
No. There's a wife and a husband that host.
Okay.
I'll have to follow back up about that. But that one has been really, really informational as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Tim Creech mentioned something about when you were mentioning how sometimes you feel a little bit lonely. He said, have you ever tried like a Google Hangout group with a bunch of other realtors where you guys can like jump on and hang out?
Yes, I have not tried a Google, but I recently, especially with, I think Caitlin was talking about how she's going to start collaborating and getting groups together.
Yeah.
I have been thinking about, either joining that as well, or even just getting something started, like
What's
a
that?
coffee and conversation.
Do you have a real estate buddy?
I have a couple, but I mean, not that we like meet up and
Okay.
we consistently, work together. But
This is a big problem in this
It
industry.
is.
There is a general sense of agents are really out there in the wild on their own for
Yes.
most of the time,
yes,
and so that is something that we hear a lot of. Is like, I'm just kind of feeling lonely. I'm feeling like I need more interaction. So that's something that we're trying to wrap our heads around as well.
yeah.
But the style of real estate is you don't come to the office and have your... I mean,
Right.
that's not the norm, at least
Right.
at our brokerage.
Yeah.
So-
It's actually it's the standards across the entire country.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this yesterday. Back in 2002, every single brokerage had about 250 square feet per agent.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and now it's
Wow.
probably trending south of 75 square feet per agent. So what you're getting is you are getting more of these satellite drop-in spaces, but it's difficult because everyone's so spread out.
Yeah.
There's not really one centralized location where all these people can kind of come together and
Right.
collaborate.
And real estate happens at random times.
Yeah,
Your day
I know.
and
Yeah,
Paul's day
there's-
is completely different.
Yeah, there's certainly times where I try to go into the office and then something comes up and I can't make it, and then by the
Yeah.
time I would be able to, it's only for like 20 minutes. So I'm like, okay, what's the point?
Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I wasn't expecting to feel so lonely at times.
Yeah.
And that's why I do like to get together with partners and go to like Con Ed networking events. When I do work remotely from coffee shops, I get to know the individuals that are doing the same, even if they're not in real estate, which
Great.
mostly they aren't. And now getting to know them, see them, chat with them, I feel like they're almost colleagues in a way. Like I'm like, this is our office,
Yeah.
how's it going?
Yeah.
So that's been super helpful. And
Are you a part of any other groups outside of real estate?
I am a part of a couple neighborhood associations.
Okay.
But then also I started a book club, which
you?
has been really
Nice.
fun. Yes, we meet once a month and it's something I always look forward to. And then we also have like a game night once a month where we just get together and play some games.
That's awesome.
So just stuff to look forward to with different groups of friends. Yeah.
And you always have to have something to look forward to.
Yes, totally.
You're highly social. That's That's good.
Yeah.
Do you ever need downtime?
Yes.
What does
I
downtime
can
look
tell. Downtime is whatever I feel like I need for the day.
Yeah.
I mean, there's days where I'm like, I need to sleep in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to set an alarm. I mean, I still get up around 7 or 8 anyway, but
Yeah.
I need to wear my pajamas all day. Like, downtime, just going outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you are an extrovert.
I think so.
Yeah.
But then I recently saw that you get defined, they defined it differently where how do you recharge?
Yeah.
Do you recharge by being an introvert and doing being alone and recharge?
Yeah.
And so it kind of got me a little
Questioning it?
confused with with the definition and what I would describe myself as.
That's interesting,
Yeah.
actually. I wonder the same thing because if you get me with too large of a group, I'm completely exhausted.
Yes.
But get me in a group of 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, and now I'm feeling like energized.
Yes. Me too.
I'm an extrovert, but I think I don't like being alone. Like, I generally don't like being alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I enjoy my solitude. So,
okay.
so
in the car, like, I'm calling my brother, I'm calling my dad,
really?
I'm calling Leo. I'm
That's like my favorite time of the day to be alone.
Or I'm listening to a podcast.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm essentially
just
talking to
jamming.
someone.
Right, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
So sometimes people will say that there's like a secret formula for real estate and or the magical thing that you can do and then you can have all the success and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You've probably heard that.
Yes.
How do you respond to that? Is there such a thing, or is there something that?
Yeah.
What do you
I
think?
think it's different for every person, and I feel like confidence certainly, helps you move forward. And
I think that's true. Like
Yeah.
the confidence, and you brought up earlier that you made a decision that I'm going to be here in 10 years,
yes,
and then that rejection or that something
yeah,
that
it
would
didn't
cause
faze
someone
me.
to wilt. You're
Right.
Like, wait, no, that's all right.
And if I didn't have that moment where I realized
that's really
I
key.
was kind of a little nervous and I wouldn't be able to approach that very well and take it very well. So
Let me ask this: are there things that, in your experience, that you would say that was a distraction, and then I really should be focused on these activities?
Yeah, distraction.
You mean like things you've done in business practices, like, I'm
Yeah.
going to do this thing here, and then all of a sudden that ended up being like total waste of time.
Total waste of time. I should have been doing this.
Like maybe it was blasting neighborhoods with postcard campaigns.
Yeah. I mean, I've walked neighborhoods with flyers before, but you just never know, because what if somebody got that flyer and then 5 years later they want to call? You just don't. There's things that I've done that I don't see the benefits of right away, so I don't know if that is a good thing to do.
Well, here's another way to phrase it, or here's a different way to phrase the question.
Please.
What are the top 3 things you will continue doing and never let go of to build your business?
That's a good question.
Social media, having a presence on social media, creating connections all around town,
Yep.
as random as they come. I don't care. Like, it's always great to chat with a random stranger. And then just following up with past
That's
clients
perfect.
and Spear
That's
and
perfect.
all of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just a connection.
Yeah.
Like, keep maintaining a connection and keep planting seeds and watering them.
Yep.
And yeah.
What are your goals for your business? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, I want to get my broker's license, which
Okay.
I think I can start taking the GRI classes soon, and then next November,
Yep.
you have to be 3 years. Is
Yep.
that correct?
Something like that,
So
yeah.
something like that, and I was chatting with my mom, and she's like, well, what does that even mean? And I've actually heard it like 2 or 3 times from different individuals. I only want to work with a broker. So I think there's
interesting.
still people out there that only want to work with a broker, which
Okay.
is, I try to explain what that is and why they thought that and why they, want to only work with a broker. But I couldn't really, move forward with that just
Yeah.
because I'm not a broker.
Yeah.
But I just really want to have, an impact to the community and be a part of community that's servicing the community and, known in the community as a realtor.
Do you see that in terms of like, do you want to have a team? Do you see yourself doing 100 transactions, 300 transactions? Like, have you ever thought about that kind of stuff, or do you just put that out of mind?
Yeah, I haven't really gotten to that point to actually visualize, but I don't imagine a team. I could imagine like a partner, so working together, but I can't really imagine hosting a team and being the team leader.
Yeah.
And then What was the other
Oh,
question?
just like, do you have a goal for? Do you set goals for yourself,
Oh,
like transaction counts,
yeah.
or do you see yourself?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
My goal for this year was 15,
Okay.
and there was a point early spring when I was like, holy smokes, I can't handle anymore. So
Yeah.
I'm still trying to gauge how busy and how that feels to be of that busyness at that time. So, I just kind of know that it's my language. Yeah, and then now I'm starting to learn like the psychology behind selling, and so learning different things about the transaction and the part of the industry and the part of the transaction, it opens my eyes and I start becoming a little bit more like efficient in different ways, and
That's cool.
yeah, it's been interesting.
So kind of the last question. So that was 30 minutes. Thank you.
Oh wow,
That was quick,
that
wasn't
happened
it?
so fast.
And so I want to honor your time as well. But
Thank
is
you.
there any like word of encouragement for someone who is relating to you and to go, could I do this or anything like that? Would you give any strong encouragement or
Yeah.
what comes to mind?
Yeah, so I struggled with, I know that I'm the only person standing in my way. So you just have to like get a handle on that and just know that you're the only thing that's standing in your way of moving forward with your business or you as a person. So kind of letting that down and relearning and trying to get better
Yeah.
with those kind of things has been really helpful.
Oh, that's great.
And then also, what was the other thing I was thinking of?
Don't stand in
What was the
don't
question
stand
again?
in your own way.
Yeah.
The question
Any
was
other
advice.
encouragements to someone who's relating to you?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
what would you tell them?
Also, just looking around and being a little overwhelmed with everybody else and how they run their business and how they have
Yeah.
become successful. Like, there's a million different ways to become successful in real estate, and you have to find what works for you and what feels good and what feels comfortable. And of course, some things you start doing might not be comfortable, but then you have to continue to try to become more comfortable and excited about it. But don't feel overwhelmed and don't feel intimidated by somebody else's success, but celebrate with them and then keep working hard to have your own success.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really great.
Yeah, I like that.
Well
It's
said.
a good send off.
Yeah, well
A
said.
good send-off.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
it.
So thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Next week we're going to spend some time with Sue Prinz.
Awesome.
Thank
No,
you.
Sue?
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. That's it. Thanks for tuning in,
Yay.
everyone.
See you guys.
Thanks, everyone.